Welcome to We're Talking Bears,
where we bring you the latest in the Chicago Bears experience.
I'm Uncle,
nephew,
and I'm Son,
and we're talking Bears. Welcome back to We're Talking Bears 2024 NFL Draft, Day 2, rounds 2 and 3. Chicago Bears didn't have a selection for the second round. We picked in the third round at pick number 75, offensive tackle from Yale. What do we think?
I don't know that I understand that.
Yale.
That's. I don't think he was going anywhere. I don't think anybody was grabbing him. I think we could have got him with the fourth. Our last pick. I mean,
unless there's somebody
is
else.
Is it good for us to get another tackle? What'd you say?
I said unless somebody else. They're looking at somebody else with the fourth.
Yeah. But I mean, it's good to get another tackle. We've we're trying to fill in at the line, the roster. You got your starters, Braxton, Tevin, the new guy, Cole Michelle, running to hike the ball. Nate Davis, not my happiest day, but Nate Davis, Darnell Wright. You got behind him Jatari Carter and Larry Borum, who played okay in fill-in. Doug Kramer.
Larry Borum was awful. Larry Borum needed to be replaced. That's what this pick is about.
This pick is about replacing Larry Borum as the backup.
Yeah.
I can accept that.
And seeing how good this dude is going to be because he can play guard or tackle. So if he's better than that's the report that I've read on him. So I don't have too much experience with this dude yet. I'm gonna have to really watch his tape as I always do. But
you mean you weren't watching Yale?
Somehow missed all of their games. It's crazy.
You did? I don't know how. Every time I'm turning on Yale to see what they were doing.
Oh yeah. No, that's definitely what everybody does is watch Yale. Clearly Ryan Poles does. This is really
Colorado. That's the team everybody was accidentally watching this year.
But this is definitely what Ryan Poles likes to do, man. He's always picking somebody nobody's ever heard of. Right when you think you know what he's got going, he's doing something else. So I expect.
Yeah, this is
a lot out of this guy. This is the highest he's picked an O lineman, isn't it?
No, Darnell Wright.
No, Darnell Wright, yeah. Well, the highest he's picked an O lineman other than Darnell Wright, I guess. So we'll see what happens.
And you know what? I gotta agree with you because Poles in the recent history, we haven't had. He's done very well with some later round picks, and I just think, for me personally, like I said, I'm not extremely familiar with all the players that we hear coming out of the draft. So once we get into these later rounds, I expect they'll be a little bit more familiar with a lot of these guys since they get paid to go out and scout. So I'm hoping that they, as we've seen them do in the past, it's picking up guys that'll be good for our team. I can't be upset with offensive line play because that's been a thorn in our side in the past. So I'm glad to see that we're developing there, getting deeper and getting stronger. I hope this guy is, able to come in and make the impact for our team. But yeah, I definitely wasn't super familiar with this guy from Yale. But I'm not gonna lie to you, man. When you get the first and the 9, I feel like when you got a draft of 6, 7 rounds and you get 1 and 9, after a while, it's like I can understand that you can be like, well, who is this guy? Because it's like they're not the first round guys anymore. They're not the blue chip guys. But Poles in the past has shown his ability to make good on those picks. So we'll see how it works out.
Yeah. I mean, we've had our 5th round corner last year, great pick. Braxton's turned out to be a great pick. And then they do have the ability to find guys that are we like our backup quarterback Bajan, like undrafted free agent. Oh, that dude actually can play. Same thing with our linebacker that took over for Roquan, Jack Sanborn. Again, undrafted free agent. That dude can play. So. This is odd, but I bet you they're going to grab an undrafted free agent somewhere that we're going to be surprised makes the team too. I mean, that seems to be every year one guy like that does.
Well, yeah, but you got to think the state this roster was in those years. Undrafted guys got a lot of opportunities to make the team. Now it's starting to get a little crowded. A little log jams coming, and that's why I'm kind of cool with not, loading up on picks this year. I typically like to see the shotgun approach. That's usually way more successful. But the picks we had, those are just really high impact picks, and we just need to see those shake out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a shotgun. His first couple of years, Poles used a shotgun. He's used a sniper rifle this year.
I hope so. I hope he's as good with the sniper as he is with the shotgun. So
we're gonna find out, but it looks like it's hard to beat. I feel good about the roster again. What you got?
I got a question for you guys. Okay, this past year, I feel like struggles came often on the offensive side, right? Our defense, especially towards the end of the year, started to take shape and was really looking good, especially after the addition of Sweat. We got some of the guys on our staff that were injured back onto the field, and we looked really good. So far, off season, this season, we haven't. The draft and free agency, we haven't so much focused on defense. We got a couple of pieces. We haven't so much focused on defense. But I feel like our offense is going to be a very dangerous offense how it looks right now. How do you guys feel moving forward? Before we get back to the season, do you feel like we would be ready with the defense we have now, with the fact that we've been focusing on making the offense better? Or do you feel like we're still going to need to add some guys on defense to really be able to have an opportunity to make a push to win something?
I think
yeah, go ahead. All right, so I think we need more pieces. I don't think this is a Super Bowl roster. I don't think it's particularly close to a Super Bowl roster at the moment. I think there's definitely some building blocks. There's definitely some young guys that have a lot of promise. But I want to see us continue to add blue chip talent. This is a team. I think we had the least first round picks in the entire league just like 2 years ago. So you're not going to just come in 2 off seasons and totally replace the level of talent across your entire roster to compete with the big boys, but we could definitely be well on our way. I think the Carolina trade has worked out great in helping us do that, giving us DJ, giving us Caleb, Tyreek Stevenson, to name a few, Darnell Wright. I think that trade has worked out great, and that's really raised the floor of our team. And then this year we've really raised the ceiling quite a bit on offense and defense. But I think the defense is it's not a complete unit yet, but it's getting there.
I'm gonna say, like, we added Kevin Byard. That was huge. We had to we let Eddie go, and we had to fill that hole with somebody who was capable of doing that. Now, coverage wise, he's not as good as Eddie. Coverage wise, he's not. But from a standpoint of tackling, run stop, he's light years ahead of Eddie, which isn't hard to be when it comes to tackling.
Yeah, but I feel like that's not really what we need in that secondary. Like this is a cover 2 scheme. You got to cover half the field half the time. So he needs to be out there, and Kevin Byard's got a good coverage history, but I don't know if this is his wheelhouse. I really am not sure how much cover 2 he's played up to this point, because the league has really been more of a cover 1 single high sort of league. So we got a box safety in Brisker, who I think is one of the best young box safeties in the league. We need somebody to be up top. We need to keep Brisker near the line of scrimmage as much as possible so he can make that impact that he makes in the run game and rushing the passer, and then covering and taking tight ends out of the short game. So that's what I want to see Brisker doing, because he's amazing at it. So
you think anybody, do you think anybody else there is going to push? Because we don't really have, when you look back there at safety. Great question, nephew. But when you look back there at safety, behind these guys, we got Jonathan Owens, not bad, the guy we just brought in. Elijah Hicks, and then a bunch of unknowns: Adrian Colbert, Quindell Johnson, Tavarius Moore. But Jonathan Owens, we brought him as a free agent. He's not bad. I would say he's an okay coverage safety. And Elijah Hicks has filled in here and there pretty well. The other question is Terrell Smith. can he play some safety? Because I mean, he's an excellent
Can he
corner,
play
but
consistently is the
what'd you say?
question. Can he play consistently is the question. He had a few really good games in his rookie year, and it was in limited action. So you saw him step in and flash immediately. I just want to see that continue. I want to see that pattern continue.
Yeah.
Because I think we have a really great trio of corners in Jalen, Terrell Smith, and Tyreek Stevenson. I'm not sure which one of those plays the nickel. They're not. None of those are really.
Kyler Gordon. Spider-Man.
Kyler plays the nickel. I mean, like as a backup.
Oh, okay.
But like, so if you got one more corner who can play that nickel and make sure that if Kyler goes down as he did last season, then we got somebody that's man in that spot. Then man, our corners are ferocious. I like that.
Yeah. I love our corners. I love everything about that group. We'll see how Kevin Byard works out. I mean, he's a good player. 2-time Pro Bowler. I mean, he's no joke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does he fit the scheme? That's the only question. And does he work with the other group of guys? His talents. So I don't think he's gonna bring us down. But it may take a little work to work it in. And obviously, we need some help on the defensive line to shore up the defense.
Now, do you think that's where we're gonna go with our last pick?
I mean, if there's a legit edge, I think they'll take him. I don't think they're. I mean, honestly, anybody who we're picking at this point is a backup. We have our starters on both sides of the ball.
And that brings me to the second part of that question now, cuz since you responded the way you did, not particularly close to being a Super Bowl team. So what is it exactly that you think should be the approach to getting us there? For example, do you think we just continue to play it out, get to next year, draft some more players? Do you think we look into free agency? Where do you think those weak spots are on our team that need to be addressed before we're a viable contender?
So the first obvious question is, do we have our quarterback now? Right. We got to see how Caleb works out. If Caleb is lighting it up like CJ was last year, okay, cool, that's sorted. Next step. Then obviously we got our weapons on offense sorted. Now the next question becomes, is the offensive line good enough? Braxton Jones is getting beat up by Myles Garrett. When you run into that top competition in the playoffs, is he going to hold up? That's the main question. Is Tevin Jenkins going to be healthy? Is Coleman Shelton good enough at center to hold off some of these big interior nose tackles that are able to wreck games like Chris Jones? Can he hold up against that? Kenny Davis, frankly. Darnell Wright is the offensive lineman I have the least questions about. Will he continue on the trajectory he set for his rookie year, or will he take a step backwards? So all of those questions on the offensive line have to be answered, because right now we have 0 positions on the offensive line that I feel truly confident about being in a Super Bowl and holding up at the highest level. Darnell Wright is by far the closest to that. Tevin would be second if he can get there. So
healthy.
That's probably the first thing I'll look at. Then on the defensive line, is Gervon Dexter going to take a step? Because he was looking really, really awesome come the later half of last year. But is he going to take that next step to become an every down guy? Can he be relied on as the starter at 3 technique? I think that's the direction they're leaning, based on the fact that they didn't pick a 3 tech and they didn't go after one in free agency or anything either. So I think they're going to lean on Dexter to try to be that Chris Jones. And the question is, can he do it? Then on the other side,
he's working like crazy. They got some crazy workout videos.
Yeah. So then on the other side of Sweat, who's that edge? Can that spot hold up with DeMarcus Walker, who has been way more effective pass rushing out of the interior than he has the edge lately? So I mean, I know he can set the edge and he stops the run, and he's great at that. And we definitely need that presence on the edge so that we can maintain that what were we, second against the run last year? We need to keep that up. And Walker definitely helps with that, but does he provide enough pass rush on those third downs, on those crucial downs? So do we need to trade for a pass rusher to hold that spot down whenever it's 3rd and 15? You know what I'm saying? So those are the obvious spots. Then is Tyreek Stevenson going to take another step? Is Kevin Byard going to fill in and step into that role and own it? So there's questions all over this team, and as good as it looks on paper, we're still very top heavy. We're very thin underneath that. Like corner is the best spot that we have in terms of overall depth. I'll say our cornerback room is Super Bowl ready. I think the young guys are talented enough that I think they can be relied on.
I'm gonna go wide receiver room. Wide receiver room.
Wide receiver room is Rome has to work out, but yeah, overall, I see Keenan Allen, DJ Moore is more than enough. I think.
Yeah,
so.
But Patrick Mahomes would trade in a second.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We don't have Patrick Mahomes though.
No, we don't. But he would take our voice.
Look, we're supposed to have the next best thing.
Yeah. Look. So yeah, with Rome, I think the wide receiver room is Super Bowl ready. Tight end room, that remains to be seen, but I think Cole Kmet's got the juice. So yeah, running back room, yeah, Swift will be fine. Swift, Herbert, Roshan, that's not bad, and then Kari Blasingame. Yeah, I think really quarterback, offensive line, defensive line, safety. Those are the four main question marks that really keep me from saying, yeah, let's go, let's do it.
Yeah, and realize you don't have to be a perfect team to win the Super Bowl. Kansas City hasn't been a perfect team for a while, and they keep winning.
No, but they have all pros at every level of offense and defense.
But no, I'm with you because I think so far the draft has been good. I'm not once it gets into the late rounds, I expect them to know something that I don't know because I don't know all of these guys at all. So I'm hoping that they're just like your dad said, man, we've got picks in the past that panned out undrafted free agents, and it's worked out well for. So if they're doing their job, they should be getting good guys in there that at least fit this team that they're trying to go with, and hopefully we just keep trending upward. Hopefully we keep trending upward. And I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I still am to know we don't have Fields anymore, I hope Caleb works out because I don't want to do this again.
No, I'm 100% with you because like I really don't want to do this again, bro. It was tough enough doing this once. Then we had to do it again with Fields, and now we're doing it a third time with Caleb. If this one don't work out, bro, just trade for a veteran. Let's just do the color wrap. I need.
What do you think about? I know this from yesterday.
What was that?
And I was gonna say, I know this was from yesterday. The question I was gonna ask: what did you think about Atlanta?
Penix. Look, man, I wouldn't have did it personally. I probably would have took Rome,
right?
Or traded back if I was the Falcons. But I understand the desire to have a quarterback, but those timelines just don't mesh at all. So it's like they're either forcing Kirk out early or they're gonna sit Penix for like most of his youth. So yeah, it remains to be seen.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, man. I couldn't imagine he just gave all that money to my boy.
Yeah, Kirk, 100 million guaranteed, something like that.
Insane.
So
insane.
But yeah, man, we'll see what happens day 3. We got one more pick left. We'll probably trade that back and do a little shotgun in the late rounds. But let's meet up tomorrow and discuss.
Let's do it. Is it at the same time? The draft. Tomorrow's the last day, right? So they're gonna be moving through them even quicker tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, that's it.
All right, Cuzzo. It's been real. How you been doing? You all good?
Hang on, wait. Let's sign off first.
Oh yeah, my bad. I know you're gonna chop it out.
Yeah. Well, I'm Son.
I'm Nephew.
And we're talking Bears.
Talking Bears.